What would you do if your own family betrayed you? The story of Prophet Yusuf, as is a powerful tale of jealousy, betrayal, patience, and ultimate redemption. From being thrown into a well by his own brothers to rising to power in Egypt, Yusuf's as journey teaches us profound lessons about trust in Allah, forgiveness, and the power of patience. Stay tuned as we dive into this incredible story and discover how Yusuf's as unwavering faith led him to triumph over every challenge. The early life of Prophet Yusuf. As Prophet Yusuf, as was the beloved son of Prophet Yaqub, as who had many sons, but Yusuf, as was especially dear to him. This deep affection made Yusuf as stand out, and he was loved not only for his character but also for his dreams. In one dream, Yusuf as saw 11 stars, the sun, and the moon prostrating to him, symbolizing his future greatness and the special role he would play. His brothers, however, became increasingly jealous of their father's love for him. This jealousy, combined with Yusuf's as dreams, fueled their resentment. They began plotting against him, unable to accept the special status their father gave him. Little did they know, this jealousy would soon lead to a trial that would change their lives forever. The plot to harm Yusuf, as consumed by jealousy, Yusuf's as brothers devised a cruel plan to get rid of him. They decided to throw him into a well, making it look like he had been attacked by a wild animal. They approached their father, Yaqub, as with a blood-stained shirt, telling him that Yusuf as was gone. Yaqub as was devastated, but he showed remarkable patience, knowing that Allah's plan was greater than his sorrow. In the meantime, Yusuf as was found by a passing caravan, who pulled him from the well and sold him into slavery, not knowing his true identity. This moment marked the beginning of Yusuf's as journey, one filled with hardships, patience, and ultimately, divine wisdom. Yusuf's as time in Egypt, after being sold into slavery, Prophet Yusuf, as was bought by a high-ranking official in Egypt known as the Azes. Yusuf as quickly gained a reputation for his good character, wisdom, and leadership skills. Despite his challenging circumstances, he remained patient and trusted in Allah's plan for him. However, Yusuf as faced a test of faith when the Aziz's wife, Zuleika, tried to seduce him. Yusuf as resisted her advances, choosing to remain loyal to Allah. In retaliation, she falsely accused him, leading to his imprisonment. During his time in prison, Yusuf as continued to uphold his integrity and faith, interpreting the dreams of his fellow prisoners, which would later play a crucial role in his rise to power. Yusuf's as time in prison. While in prison, Prophet Yusuf as remained patient and faithful, trusting in Allah's wisdom despite his unjust imprisonment. During his time there, he gained a reputation for his ability to interpret dreams. Two fellow prisoners had troubling dreams, and Yusuf as accurately interpreted their meanings. One of them would be freed, while the other would face a tragic fate. Before his release, Yusuf as asked the freed prisoner to mention him to the king, hoping for a chance to clear his name. However, the prisoner forgot about him, leaving Yusuf as in prison for several more years. Despite this setback, Yusuf as maintained his trust in Allah, knowing that his freedom would come at the right time according to Allah's plan. The king's dream and Yusuf's as rise to power. The king of Egypt had a perplexing dream about 7 healthy cows being eaten by 7 lean cows, and 7 green ears of corn being consumed by 7 dry ones. Disturbed, he sought an interpretation, but none could explain it. The freed prisoner, remembering Yusuf's as skill, mentioned him to the king. Yusuf as was brought to interpret the dream, and he explained that Egypt would experience 7 years of prosperity, followed by 7 years of famine. He advised the king to store grain during the years of plenty to prepare for the famine. Impressed by his wisdom, the king appointed Yusuf as a trusted advisor, placing him in charge of Egypt's grain storage and distribution. This marked Yusuf's rise to power, as he was given authority over Egypt's resources, allowing him to play a pivotal role in the survival of the nation during the coming famine. The reunion with his brothers as the famine spread, Yusuf's brothers traveled to Egypt to buy grain. Unbeknownst to them, the powerful official they were dealing with was their long-lost brother. Yusuf, now in a position of authority, recognized them but chose not to reveal his identity right away. He tested their character by accusing them of being spies and asking them to bring their youngest brother, Benjamin, to prove their honesty. After some time, they returned with Benjamin. Yusuf then revealed his identity to his brothers, saying, "I am Yusuf, and this is my brother." The brothers were initially shocked and ashamed of their past betrayal, but Yusuf reassured them with words of forgiveness. He understood that Allah's plan had been unfolding all along, and he forgave them for their wrongs, showing them the power of patience and mercy. The return to their father, after the emotional reunion with his brothers, Yusuf invited his entire family to come to Egypt. He sent them back to their father, Yaqub, with a message and gifts, including his own shirt, which would miraculously restore Yaqub's sight. When Yaqub saw the shirt and realized that his son Yusuf was alive, he was overwhelmed with joy and gratitude. He immediately recognized Allah's mercy and wisdom in reuniting him with Yusuf, despite the long years of separation and grief. Yaqub, and his family were then reunited with Yusuf, in Egypt, where they settled. This reunion marked the fulfillment of Yusuf's dream and a moment of divine reward for the patience and trust that Yaqub, and Yusuf, had maintained throughout their trials. Spiritual meaning and lessons. The story of Prophet Yusuf, offers deep spiritual insights and valuable lessons. Patience in adversity. Yusuf, endured great trials, betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment. Yet he remained patient and trusted in Allah's plan. His story teaches us that challenges are part of life, but patience and faith in Allah lead to ultimate rewards. Forgiveness and mercy. Despite being wronged by his brothers, Yusuf forgave them, showing that true strength lies in mercy. This act teaches us the importance of letting go of grudges and showing kindness, even when wronged. Divine wisdom and timing. The story emphasizes that Allah's plan is always greater than ours. Every trial Yusuf faced was part of a greater purpose, and in the end, everything unfolded according to Allah's perfect timing. Trust in Allah's plan. Yusuf never wavered in his trust in Allah. His story encourages us to place our full trust in Allah's wisdom, knowing that He has a plan for us, even when we don't understand the difficulties we face. The power of dreams. Yusuf's dreams were not mere fantasies. They were a sign of Allah's will. The story reminds us that dreams and visions, when aligned with Allah's will, can be a source of guidance and direction. Through these lessons, the story of Yusuf encourages us to remain steadfast in our faith, forgive others, and trust in the wisdom and timing of Allah. Key takeaways. Patience leads to reward. The trials Yusuf faced teach us that enduring hardship with patience and faith in Allah can lead to eventual success and divine blessings. Forgiveness brings peace. Yusuf forgave his brothers for their betrayal, showing us that forgiveness is a powerful act of strength and a means of healing. Trust in Allah's plan. Despite his difficulties, Yusuf as never lost trust in Allah's wisdom. His story reminds us that Allah's plan for us is always better than we can imagine. Divine wisdom prevails every event in Yusuf's, as life unfolded according to Allah's perfect timing, teaching us to have faith in Allah's ultimate wisdom, even when we can't see the bigger picture. The importance of integrity, Yusuf, as remained truthful and steadfast in his morals, even when faced with temptation and injustice. His integrity is an example for us to uphold righteousness in all situations. These key takeaways encourage us to practice patience, forgiveness, trust, and integrity in our own lives, with faith that Allah's wisdom will guide us through every challenge.